Does your BMW E30 bonnet insulation look as disgusting as this? Don't worry about it, we'll get it sorted. Alright guys, MTech Guy here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the E30 318 IS. Now we're going right back to just after when I first bought this car. There was one thing that really stood out that was really letting the car down. It looked terrible, I wasn't happy with it. It was one of the first things I wanted to sort out on this vehicle. And that was the bonnet insulation, or the hood insulation. It was obviously the existing original insulation. It had gone all flaky. It was making a right mess. It just looked horrendous. So today we are going to get it sorted. Now if we take a look underneath the bonnet, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Now look at the state of that. It doesn't look awful. And the worst part about it is it's all just flaking away, and it's dropping little chunks of foam all the way through the engine bay, so it's making a right mess. And eventually I do want to get this engine bay all tidied up because it is really showing its age, other than the engine that did have a rebuild about 5 years ago. But there are little bits and pieces here that I do want to get it tidied up, get it looking nice. So yeah, all these bits of foam sitting in all the crevices of the engine bay. It's not good. Right, let's get into it. So first off, what I did is I used a drop sheet and just covered up the whole engine bay, because once we start scraping away at this foam, it's going to go everywhere. It's going to make a right mess. So this is just going to save us a lot of hassle. Now to start off with, I went into the job using this heat gun with the idea that I could soften the adhesive. You know, some of it you can see is sort of pulling away at the moment. So I thought it was going to come away relatively easy with this. So I was going to go over it with the heat gun, try and soften the adhesive as much as I could, and then go at it with this plastic scraper, because we want to cause as little damage as possible to the paint beneath it. Obviously it's going to get covered up anyway, so there will be a tiny little bit of marring to the paint. It doesn't really matter. The main thing is you don't want to go scraping away and damage the paint where you're down to the bare metal. So that's why we're using a plastic scraper rather than a metal one. You don't want to expose the bare metal, and then there's always the potential for a rust trap later on. And you know, if you know anything about these E30s, you'll know that they are susceptible to rust. Now I did go into this job a little bit naive, to be honest. I thought probably just take a couple of hours, get this all scraped away. You'll have seen earlier that the adhesive did look like it was coming away relatively easy. But in reality, the adhesive had really etched itself into the paint, and over the years it becomes so hard, a lot of it was almost like concrete. So I had to come up with a different plan, and I thought I'd go at it with some of this flash prep. It's like a mild solvent that is basically used for prepping surfaces before detailing, and I have had good luck with this product when I've removed the old sticky glue residue, when I've removed badges, that type of thing, a bit like you'll have seen me use when I did the rear badge on the E60 M5. But to be honest with you, this glue was so hard, it hardly touched the surface. It wasn't really making any difference. So I had to come up with another plan, and that's when I chose this. It's like a citrus-based sticky label remover. Now this was a real game changer. This made a huge difference. It certainly did soften it up to a certain extent, so it did give me a fair chance of being able to remove the old adhesive. And as you can see here, this is why we're using the drop sheet. I've only just started, and look at the amount of mess it's already caused. So at the end we can just wrap that up, chuck it straight in the bin, not have to worry about cleaning the engine bay afterward. Now even with the citrus based cleaner, I was still struggling to knock that adhesive back, so I thought I'd use the drill with a toffee wheel in it. This is basically a tool that's used to remove old decals, that type of thing, you know. Now it did make a bit of a difference. It did sort of knock back the adhesive and bring it up and sort of knot it up, but I did find that the toffee wheel was leaving a bit of residue on the paint, and I did find that difficult to remove. I've not had much experience with one of these tools, and to be honest with you, I had enough on my plate with trying to remove all the old adhesive. The last thing I needed was another layer of crap that I basically had to remove. So I ditched that, and I just went back to using the citrus-based cleaner and the plastic scraper. And then what I was doing in between, I was just washing it down with a sponge and some soapy water, just to get rid of all the old glue residue that remained. But to be honest with you, like I said earlier, I did go into this job a little bit naive. I thought it was going to take a couple of hours, but in reality that old glue had set so hard that it was a real mission to try and scrape it all off. It took me about 5 or 6 hours, this whole job, just trying to scrape the old glue off. Now I was going cautious because I didn't want to damage that old paint, and I've seen other DIYs on this exact job, but it seems like what a lot of people will do is just scrape the old foam off, knock back the adhesive a little bit, but leave most of the adhesive residue on there and just stick the new insulation onto the old adhesive. Now I don't want to do that. That's not really making a proper job of this. I want to do this job so it's going to last hopefully another 35 years. So I wanted to get rid of all the adhesive, but I didn't want to damage the paint, because essentially all you're doing if you leave the adhesive there is just sticking that new foam with the new adhesive on the back of it to the old adhesive, and it's not going to really keep properly. I wanted a nice smooth painted surface just for that to sit on. But yeah, as you can see, doing it that way, it made the job very slow going. Now I absolutely love working on my cars, and as you've seen if you've been following my channel, that I love to share that passion with you guys. But some jobs, just like this one, it just did my head in. It just went on and on and on. But like I say, I wanted to make a real nice proper job of it, so it is what it is. It's one of those jobs you just have to take your mind to a different place and just crack on with it, and eventually you'll get there. Now I did find with using plastic scrapers, they did blunt off relatively quickly, especially trying to knock that really hard, that rock hard adhesive back. So what I did is I bought a whole bag full of them. They're relatively cheap, you can find them anywhere on the internet or your local hardware store. And then I scraped away. Once they started losing their edge, just chuck it away, chuck a new one in there, and just go for it. And as you can see here, slowly making some headway, almost there, just getting rid of that last bit of residue that remains. Now what I did find, like I say, using a plastic scraper will mar the paint ever so slightly. It's something you can polish out if you want to, but to be honest with you, it did leave a bit of a key for that new adhesive, and it's not a big deal because it's getting covered up anyhow. But the worst thing was that old adhesive had really etched in to the old single stage paint, which is a pretty soft paint, so there's not much I could have done with that. But hey, it's not a big deal because it's going to get covered up anyhow. So that's all the adhesive now gone, thank goodness. So all there is left to do now is just use some of that panel wipe, the prep wipe, just to give it a good going over. Give myself a nice clean surface, getting rid of any residue that's left over, so we give that new hood insulation the best chance of sticking on there. So this is the new insulation. It's genuine BMW part, and this is specific to the, I think, the facelift models, the 318IS. There's the part number there. I'll also leave that down in the description. So what I did to start off with, I just placed it in position without removing the backing, just to see how it was going to fit. I noticed that there was about a 1/4 inch gap all the way around, so you don't want to start off just shoving it in the corner and then stick it on, because you're going to end up with a big gap at one end and no gap at the other. So I wanted a nice even gap, so I just pulled a bit of the backing away, started it off, and then just positioned it very, very carefully, because you got to remember that this stuff sticks like shit to a blanket, so you want to be cautious. Once it's stuck on there, there's no peeling it off and having a second chance. So just make sure you take your time, you try and make a nice neat job of it. That's that side done. So then I did the opposite side here. Now I'd had a bit of practice with it, same sort of thing, just starting from the top, move the back in, and then just push it in position, stick it down. So I was very happy with how the two sides turned out. And now for the middle section. Now strangely, the foam for the middle section is slightly thinner than the two bits on the outside. That's what it was like from the factory. I don't know why. So what I did is I cut a little bit of a V in the back in at the top, at the centre. So I was going to start it off at the centre there and then work my way outwards. And you've got to remember that there is a ridge at either side, so you want to make sure that you don't stretch it over that ridge. You want to make sure you push it right into the corners there. So that's why I went from the inside towards the outer sections. And same again, just pulled that back slowly. Didn't want to remove the whole lot in one go, because once it sticks, that's it. Only got one chance. But what I didn't anticipate with this was, with the foam being a lot thinner, it was a lot stretchier. So as I smoothed it in position with my hands, it did stretch it down a little bit, and I did end up with a little bit of overlap down the bottom there, as you can see. So it did look a bit goofy. I wasn't happy with that. So what I did is I took a Stanley knife and I just very carefully trimmed it back. I just went through about 3/4 of the thickness of the foam, and then the rest just teared away. And it did finish it off nicely. So as you can see, that looks 1,000 times better. It's really freshened up the car. It's breathed some new life into it. Before it looked horrendous. It was really showing its age, but now it almost looks like brand new under there. So I'm going to have to get the engine bay sorted at some point, but at least we're not dropping any more bits of foam throughout the engine bay. So I was really happy with the way this turned out. It was a huge effort to get there, but now it's done. I'm real pleased with the way it's turned out, and I know that that's stuck on there properly. Alright guys, so there we have it. That's that little job taken care of, and I'm really pleased to get the bonnet insulation replaced. It looked so shabby, and it was leaving all them bits of foam right the way through the engine bay. It was a right mess. It's good to get it sorted. It looks so much better now. Didn't cost a huge amount of money, but it did take a little bit of time to get rid of all that glue residue. But that's okay, it's done now. It looks so much better. Now if you found the video interesting or useful, don't forget to give it a like, and make sure you go and check out the rest of my YouTube channel for more BMW E30 content. Consider subscribing if that's your cup of tea. I'm MTech Guy. Thanks a lot for watching.